Hello everyone, this is Carlie Hamilton and I'm back again with another scrapbook process video for you. This one is another layout that's for my Korea album, and what I'm doing first up is I really want to get rid of my scraps. I feel like I haven't been incorporating enough scraps in my layouts lately, so I rummaged through this is my yellow and orange scraps, and I want to pull out some yellow to tie it in with that camera paper. And also there's a thin bit of yellow on this piece of paper I'm cutting now because I'm planning on using that as my background paper. I've also got this larger scrap as well, which I want to use. I believe that's from Echo Park, and I've decided that I want to use it as my mat for my photos. So what I'm doing first is I'm laying out my photos. I've got 5 little photos, well 3 little photos and 2 normal photos for this page, and I decided that I want to put them into a box shape. So I've already discarded one of my photos, and now I'm slightly cutting another photo just so that it's a similar size to the other small photo on the page. These photos are like photos of the streets that I've taken in Korea, and originally I had an idea in my head of using some of these photos as look, there's some Japan in Korea. So the top left photo that I'm actually sticking down now, that one has a Japanese pub. There's a Japanese pub sign, so it's like Japanese on the sign. And the one that I've discarded is also another like Japan sighting in Korea. I think it was a convenience store. It could even be like a Korean convenience store that's in Japan. I can't quite remember right now, and I can't quite see it from the video. But yeah, so some of these photos are like Japan sightings and other ones are just general on the streets. So I decided that I'm not going to really turn this into a look at this is Japan and Korea page. I just want to do it as a look, this is the streets and this is the sights kind of page. So I don't mind that I've discarded one of those photos. It's not much of a look at the street photo. It was more of a look at this, I recognize this place kind of photo. So now I've got this yellow bit of paper there that was one of my scraps, and I've decided I'm going to use it as a little like an anchor down the bottom to kind of balance out the page, and then I incorporate the other half of the yellow strip up the top of the page so that you get this nice balance in the page, and it sort of brings your eye from one yellow strip down through the photos to the other yellow strip. And it also so next I am cutting out this piece of paper to create like an arrow embellishment to direct your eye. Now I really want to use that camera paper. It is an old piece of paper. It's from Love Elsie, which is no longer made, and so I really want to use it, but in the end I actually don't end up using it on this page. I just couldn't work out how I was going to make it work, so I didn't use it, which is just shame. I want to use it. Okay, and next I'm pulling out some dimensional embellishments that I have. So this box, it's a Project Life mini kit box, and I use it to store all my reds, yellows and orange embellishments that are like dimensional. So as you can see, I'm pulling out a few buttons and things like that. And next is another little container which holds the same colors but in flat stuff, so little stickers, and I've pulled out a heart die cut. That's some stickers there, some tags, things like that are in that box. So I'm just searching through it, bringing out things that I think may be able to go on this layer. And I'm also just pulling out other like sheets that I've cut apart myself, and some newer stickers, and a whole heap of frames. So this is the 58th layout that I've made this year so far, and it took a little bit less than an hour overall to create. So now that I've got all these embellishments out, it's time to start playing around with the placement of them on my page. So I move them all to the side and start playing. Now sometimes things just fall on the page really easily, like that frame there. And sometimes I can't get them to work, like this sticker. It's a banner sticker, and it's got the same pattern on it as the frame, so it would have gone well on the page, but I just couldn't seem to make it work. So this one here is a tag that I've cut out from one of the Maggie Holmes. It was just a piece of paper of hers that had lots of little tags and tickets and stuff on it. So I've cut out all the individual tags and tickets and put them into my die cut box. That first one I placed under the frame, and this one here that I've just placed there, they both say flea market on them because it's from Maggie Holmes' flea market range, and I thought that sort of tied in with my page. Even though it's not a market, it's still sort of like shops and stuff, so I thought it went well. I really liked it, so I'm placing down that one down the bottom there, but I've already stuck down my arrows, so I had to pull it off again. My adhesive is pretty good. Like I managed to pull it off without ripping anything apart, so that's great. But it was stuck down well enough that my poor arrow is a little bit creased now, but it still goes. So I'm placing buttons. You know, I love buttons on my layouts, so I don't think buttons are in style much anymore. But I'm not a sucker for trends, so I love my buttons. I've glued the top ones down there with glue, simply because it was too difficult to do with my double-sided tape, and I had them in just the right position that I wanted them, so I've glued them down with the glue. And you can see I use a sponge, that's just a makeup sponge, and I use that to get all the excess glue that sort of seeps out from the sides when you're pressing them down. And I find it helps also like spread out the glue that's under there as well, so it just like spreads it out, makes it more of an even stick. Also with that little sticker there that said explore, I used my ink on that because it had like a white border and the text was white. I found that a little bit too stark with my rest of my layout, so I used my my Jumbo Java ink just to dirty it up a bit, so it looks like it goes a bit more and it doesn't stand out with this stark whiteness. Another thing I like to do is chop up my stickers. So I've chopped off the end of that yellow arrow sticker, and then I've placed it down the bottom of the page. So it sort of ties those two clusters in thematically with the same sort of elements, and that helps you draw your eye around the page, and it also helps make the page seem like it's balanced. Sticking down my buttons. Now I'm on to the title. So I search through my box full of all my alpha stickers, and I pull out a couple that may work, but I end up going up with these are Doodlebug stickers. I love Doodlebug. So I'm deciding what to call it. I'm always terrible at titling my pages, just awful. But I know that I want to stick my title there, and I need something to ground it so that it's not just floating in space. So I place another little yellow label sticker down, just so it has something to sit on. And I like to use my tweezers as I do my my titles, I find it is easier to place the stickers down in the exact same spot, like the spot that I want them. I don't know if I'm just clumsy or an idiot or something, but when I do it with my hands, I feel like my hands get in the way of placing it in that exact spot. Whereas if I use the tweezers, I can line it up and then press it down. So now that my title is down, I feel like I need to sort of tie it in with the page a bit more, so it's still not just like floating off in space there. So I use that button to sort of tie it to the other ones, and I've used a different color button than the rest of them, but it's sort of like, you know, it's a similar shape and everything, that it ties them together. And then I decide that it needs one of these arrows that I've created from that piece of paper as well. So try and find its placement there, and once I've got it, I stick it down. So I think I'm getting around to the end of the page now. Yes, I've got the enamel dots out, and the enamel dots are usually my last step, or one of the last steps I do to complete a page. So I've gotten out these Dear Lizzie ones, and I've used up the last of my yellow dots. So yay, goodbye yellow dots. And then these ones here are Doodlebug sprinkles. So I'm just placing them around the page, just sort of moving my hand around until I find a spot that just feels right, and I put them down. The enamel dots are great because it adds a bit more dimension to your page, and also helps you move your eye around the page there. I was just holding up the packet to show you how many were left. And that's done now. So after this video, after I'd finished this layout and everything, a couple of days later, I put some journaling in that yellow strip down the bottom. But I haven't, that was after I've taken these photos. So I have journaled on that page, and I think that completed it. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. Let me know what you think in the comments below. I love hearing what everyone has to say. So thank you so much for taking the time to leave comments. And of course, subscribe if you enjoyed this video. In case you've forgotten, my name is Carlie Hamilton, and I'll see you at the next process video. Thanks. Bye.